Hello, and welcome to the Radical Fabulatorium. I'm your host, John Adam Ian. Okay, on today's episode, I am chatting with Bif Naked. She's got a brand new documentary out called Bif Naked, a documentary, available now on Super Channel, superchannel.ca. We also chat about her last album called Champion, which I thought was a great record. And of course, you can jump over to bifnaked.com to check out her tour dates, find all her music, and yeah, definitely check out the documentary. Pretty interesting story. So yeah, let's get into it. Here we go. My chat with Bif Naked. All right, thanks a lot for coming on the Radical Fabulatorium today, Bif. I really appreciate you giving me some of your time.
Thank you. I'm very excited to talk to you.
And of course, we're here to talk about the new, we'll call it a self-titled documentary, Bif Naked. But I was hoping we could take just a couple minutes to talk about your last record, Champion. Just briefly.
Ooh, thank you.
Introduce it to my listeners because, I don't know, it's a really a strong record. And I just want to point out a couple tunes that really stuck out to me.
Okay.
Roller Dome, which is kind of like halfway through the record, this kind of indie pop song.
Yes.
And you got Never Know Never, which I don't know how to describe it really. Kind of gives me like first wave, new wave vibes with
nice.
With some hard rock, and the vocal delivery of the verse is really interesting.
Nice.
And then
happy.
And then you make it all the way to the end of the record, and Stay in Your Lane is just like thrash metal. So I was kind of like, how did this album come together? If you can summarize it in a couple minutes.
You are just like, this is like artistically flirting with me, because I mean, as an artist, we make these little artistic moves, and we're basically screaming into the void many times. And especially in this day and age, we didn't have to put out a record. Ultimately, we don't have to make records. I've been working with Doug Fury since 1996. And Doug, of course, some of the first early stuff Doug ever wrote with me was stuff like Tango Shoes, for example. Mm-hmm. And the way we worked, Doug would hand me a cassette tape. Back in the day, Tango Shoes is the example. He would hand me a cassette tape, and it had the riff for Tango Shoes on it, and all he had was dun 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 dun, and I just would put it on repeat, rewind, repeat, rewind, repeat, and that's how we would write songs. I didn't like being in the room with Doug because I'd get embarrassed singing in front of him, so I would make him give me cassette tapes. And this record, Doug and I were in the room together, and he had almost the entirety of Roller Dome finished. Because Doug is just so fantastic with all of the instruments and with his computer and with all of his computer programs and stuff. And Roller Dome was just like, man, he had everything done, and it was just like, it just was roller skating, and it was young love, and it was holding hands, and it was the roller skates with the pom-poms on it, and it just like all came together. And it was like at the Roller Dome, sucking on soda pop, na 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 na, and it was just like, it just came together, and it's such a fun bop. And it was just like the very first song we wrote for the record.
Cool.
Yeah, and it was just, and it's like, and the first time that we, and I still cry when I hear the song because it makes my heart hurt. It's just one of those songs. Like Spaceman was the same way. It's that song about yearning. It's a love song that's about yearning. And I'm a lyric junkie. Like, I love writing lyrics so much. And I'm in my 50s, man. I will never shake that word thing. Like, I love language. I love words. I love crafting words. I just love doing it. And so Roller Dome was really fun to write. And with Never Know Never, I wrote that song with Dave Martone. And that song was like writing with Dave. Dave is like a mad scientist. He has like what I call dog hearing. Yeah, that song was just like, that song was a foreshadowing emotionally. And that song was also another emotional journey for me. I think that I go through this, I have a lot of bad luck with relationships, so I tend to write them out in lyrics. Mm-hmm. And that song particularly is really, I'm very transported and I love the imagery, the emotional pain imagery, using Judas in my lyrics, for the betrayer. And Dave Martone is such a, he's just so, he's just madness when it comes to he's such a prolific musician. He's just incredible. And he just puts these little spaces and these pauses in his instrumentation. He's a Berkeley guy.
Okay.
He's a genius in many of these ways. And it was the first time I had ever written with him. And it was, there's a couple songs on the record that I wrote with Dave, and it's just, it's very eclectic. And I love having, these musically eclectic records. Champion is a great example of that joy I have from making them sonically different. And then Stay in Your Lane again, Doug Fury, bringing it home, winding it up with his riffs. And we call Doug the hot lick guy.
Okay.
Because he's just it's joyful. And thrash is like our school of thought, where we both come from, where we grew up. And that one is just a ripper. It's a ripper, and we love it. We love it so much. It just takes us back to our youth. And it just makes us want to jump in the pit.
Absolutely.
We'll never outgrow it. It's lots of fun.
Yeah, it's such a great tune. I really was happy to come across that as track.
I'm so glad. Yeah. Oh, I'm so glad. I can't wait to tell Doug.
And of course, there's a connection on the record to the documentary as well, because I don't think it's giving anything away. But I mean, you end the movie on with Sweet Pea, which is kind of like
another Doug Fury song.
Okay, and that's a beautiful, like, hopeful tune, and it really wraps up the movie. Fantastic.
Absolutely. I thought. Thank you. Yeah, and again, that's and that's Doug's. That's Doug's hopeful little riff again, and it's just like, and that's Doug's title too. It's just joyful. That song is very, very beautiful.
Very cool. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's shift gears to the documentary. It debuted November 21st. It was kind of its premiere on Super Channel and Fuse.
Yeah, amazing.
That's really cool.
Really cool.
What was it like to, as I know you mentioned that you didn't see it until the movie was done. What was that kind of like when you sat down and just got to take it all in and like a fan would?
Like a eulogy.
Like a eulogy. Okay.
Yeah, it was crazy, and I cried the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I cry watching everybody talk. George Finch is my oldest friend. I've known George since we were, 12 or 13 years old. So, to watch him be interviewed, because I didn't see anybody in the interviews. Mm-hmm. And then, to have my manager, Peter, who has been my champion, really. I've known Peter longer than I knew my dad, almost.
Wow.
And Peter gave me away at, two of my weddings, for example, because my father passed away. And so to have him interviewed and to have him at the end, he's a fourth Dan black belt. He is, he's a very notoriously stoic, he's almost like a mafia boss, Peter is. He's very, very notorious. He is very strong and professional and powerful. And to have him with a tear in his eye at the end, that killed me. That killed me. My knees buckled. And it was just like, it just kills me. It kills me. He's a father of 5 daughters. And it's just, to have him be vulnerable and to have everybody saying nice things about it's just like hard for me to watch. It's very humbling. But also to see that archival footage was a joy, was just joyful. Because every performance is a joy. It's still a joy. Last night we played at Massey Hall with Andy Kim to do his annual Christmas extravaganza, and the guys in Sloan were there, and Tom Wilson was there, and it was just like, it's so much fun to perform and to be able to watch the documentary and to see this archival footage that much of it I have never seen in my life.
Cool.
Never saw the performance with Tri Pig and I doing Paradise in the Dashboard Lights, which is a performance they had filmed. Who filmed that? I'm like, we didn't even have the internet back then.
Yeah.
And I saw that and I burst into tears because I miss Ken. He's passed away. And so it's like, oh my, like, I can't believe they have this footage. It's just remarkable to me. So it's a treat. It really is. And, I don't watch a lot of movies. I don't own a television. I never have. So I don't watch a lot of movies. I've seen a few music documentaries. I've seen the Tina Turner one and the Whitney Houston one. And so, to have my own documentary is like such a big deal for me. I always say the same thing every week of my life. I've always said I could die happy. Well, now I really can. I'm like, wow, this is incredible. It's incredible.
Yeah, having a documentary and to be it's so. I imagine you feel grateful to have stayed in the industry for so long, because what a blessing to be in a creative industry for your whole life, basically.
My whole life, and I feel like I'm only at the halfway point, and that's nuts. That's nuts. I look at Tina Turner and I go, listen, man, she didn't start playing stadiums till she was in her 50s. And I go, all right, shit, I'm in my 50s. That means I'm at the starting gate. Okay? And I look at Peter and I go, buckle up.
Yeah.
Like, you are fucked. Buckle up. If you think you're tired, pop a couple, Red Bulls and let's go. Like, 'cause I'm just getting started.
That's awesome. Have a film crew on standby, because in a couple decades, documentary part 2 is coming out.
Why not? People are nuts the way the science is right now. People are nuts. Like, it's just insane the way the world is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's nice. That's a fire alarm going off in my place.
Oh, no. Do you have to go? Do you have to get out of there?
No, I'm very calm.
You're calm. Okay.
It's just loud. Okay. I'm just like, oh, brother. Sorry.
One thing I wouldn't mind touching on, so at Local FM, like, we're a community and campus radio. So we kind of like we rely on volunteers for hosts and our volunteer board members. And we're also connected to the regional hospital here in St. John, which is kind of the largest hospital in New Brunswick. And I know that you're kind of passionate about volunteering. So I am. I wouldn't mind just kind of hearing your philosophy on that.
Oh my gosh, be a pest. That's my motto with volunteering. Be a pest.
Be a pest? What do you mean exactly?
Yes, be a pest. Most people are really conditioned. They don't want to bother anybody.
Okay.
It's our nature, not just as Canadians, but as people, we don't want to bother somebody. Oh, we don't want to bother them. I want to see how they're doing, or I want to check in with the family, but I don't want to bother them. They're probably tired, or they're probably, and we don't want to bother them. And my theory is, no, that's the wrong way to think. The right way to think is be a pest, bother them. Check in with your neighbor. If you know that, Mr. Smith down the street, if you know that his wife has just been diagnosed with breast cancer, or if she's going for treatment, or if, Mr. Smith himself is going for prostate cancer radiation, or if they, if their kid was in a car accident or whatever the case, or they have to go to the hospital, offer to walk their dog. Yes, knock on their door. What can I do? Can I bring you a casserole, or just bring a casserole, or just offer to drive them to the hospital, or offer to go sit at the hospital with their aging mother so that they can go home and have a shower. Like, just really simple things that, just really simple things that would just make all the difference. People don't realize what a difference it would make. Or go to the hospital and say hi, poke your head in.
Do you think people are scared to say the wrong thing? Is that part of it, maybe?
All the time. Of course we are. We all are. I'm what's known as an elevator talker.
Okay.
I cannot be quiet ever. And I have one of my best friends is a therapist, and she goes, well, it's because you're anxious. And I'm like, yeah, I don't feel anxious. I don't feel anxious. She goes, well, you don't like silence. And I'm like, no, I don't want anyone else to feel anxious is my deal. I don't want somebody else to feel anxious, so I'm going to burst into conversation. Always, every time I'm going to say something, especially if somebody's especially if someone is geriatric. I am obsessed with older people. I'm obsessed because I really believe in my heart that often they're just forgotten or invisible. And so, part of my volunteering has really evolved into geriatric populations. And so I have this little dog, my little Yorkie. She's a hospital volunteer with me. And we just go to nursing homes, and we go into the geriatric wards, and we go and visit everybody. Because why not? And she's the conversation bigger. I go, this is Grace, and we're here to say hi. Grace wanted to come and say hi. What's your name? This is Grace. My dog doesn't care. She doesn't really care. She's a dog. But it's a conversation starter, and it brightens people's day. And it just does. And who cares? It's 10 minutes out of our time to spend with somebody. And it might just mean the whole world to them, in a day where they're just sitting there and I just think that if you can, just go ahead and do it. If you see someone at the bus stop, I don't know, if it's raining, offer to pick them up. I don't know. I know the cops are always telling me don't do that, but I do it all the time.
Yeah.
I do it all the time. Who cares? You know what? In this world, we have to be able to take a chance and help people out. We just really do.
Yeah, I think that's a great philosophy. That's really nice to hear you putting that energy out into the world. And you mentioned brighten their day or brighten someone's day. I mean, that kind of how to bring it back to the documentary. I mean, that's kind of how it feels after you watch the documentary, that you've been through some adversity and some traumatic experiences and all kinds of experiences. But then at the end of the day, when that song Sweet Pea comes on, you're like, damn, I feel pretty hopeful after watching that movie.
Oh, that makes me so happy. Yeah, that's how it should be.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Hope is, don't forget hope.
Absolutely.
Well, I really appreciate you giving me some of your time, Bif. That was a really great chat. I really recommend everyone not only check out the documentary, Bif Naked, the documentary, but track down Champion and give that a bunch of spins because that's a fantastic record.
Oh, that's so nice. Yeah. And I'm sure I'll pass that along to Doug. Also, he'll love to hear that. And he's on Instagram at Doug Fury.
Okay, Doug Fury, cool.
Yeah, he would love to hear that too. He wrote and produced that whole record.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, let him know. I thought it was a really great listen. And I know you're hitting the road here too to screen the documentary and play some acoustic shows. And hopefully you'll come out east maybe at some point.
Oh, we would love to come to the Maritimes again.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Been too long. Too long.
Cool. Well, we'll look forward to it. We'll keep our eyes on your tour dates and keep our fingers crossed.
Okay, cool.
Awesome. Thanks, Bif.
Okay, bye.
Have a good one.